everyone, it's Taylor here today, and I would like to share with you how I created these fall wreath cards using a few Tailored Expressions products. I'm starting with the Floral Fields background stamp. I have the Mini Strips Harvest stamp with the coordinating die. You can see those alignment squares on the back of the stamp that line up perfectly with the alignment squares on the die, allowing us to cut them all out perfectly in one trip through the machine. The mini mix and match bows will also be used along with the Wreath Cutting Plate. And last, I have 4 different colors of coordinating cardstock and ink. First we have Dijon, then Sweet Potato Pie, Mulled Wine, and Avocado. This is really a perfect color combination for fall. I'm starting with that Floral Fields background stamp and placing that in my MISTI. I will be using my MISTI then to stamp the background tone on tone with the coordinating ink. It provides just the right amount of texture that I'm looking for. When I go to add these leaves back into the wreath a little bit later, you'll see that it does give a really nice effect to those leaves. So now that I have all 4 of those stamped, I'm going to send them through my die cut machine with that wreath cutting plate. Now I want all of my pieces to stay in the same place, so I am using a little bit of press and seal to make sure that my die cut pieces remain in the same spot on the wreath. I'm going to do that with the rest of my cardstock pieces. I have them all here arranged inside the press and seal so we can continue on. Here I have the wreath cutting plate cut from sweet basil cardstock, and I'm just adding a little bit of liquid adhesive to adhere that down to my toffee card base. Now here comes the fun part. I get to put this back together like a puzzle. Using pieces from my die cut wreaths, you can add the different colored leaves back right into the spot where they belong. And because you kept them all together in the same place with the help of press and seal, it is much easier and makes it much faster to put these all together and have a beautiful multicolored wreath with a little bit of texture stamped on each of those leaves. Now I also wanted to add some texture to the background, so I went ahead and die cut a piece of toffee stamped tone on tone with our Woodgrain Background, and then I placed those in the openings for a little bit of extra texture. Next we'll be using that Mini Strips Harvest stamp to stamp the sentiments onto chocolate truffle cardstock. I am conditioning my cardstock with my powder tool before I stamp with Versamark so that my embossing powder only sticks to the places that I want it to. I'll be using fine detail gold embossing powder from Tailored Expressions, just sprinkling that over the top and then heating it with my heat tool. Now you do want to make sure that you heat those squares because we will be using those alignment squares with the die to line them up just perfectly, send them through the machine, and in one pass you get 10 perfectly trimmed strips that you can use for several different projects. Here you can see I've arranged them on my project, and I will be using felt. This is our 100% wool felt and the Fast Grab Tacky glue to create the cute little bow on the project. I have just adhered that in the center of the bow, add a little bit more glue, and place that towards the bottom of the wreath. I'm now cutting a circle from our designer felt and adding that to the center of the bow. You can finish it off with your sentiment strips using a little bit of foam adhesive on the back and placing those down. You can use multiple strips, you can use just one strip, it is completely up to you. Once this is finished, you'll have beautiful cards to send for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys learned something new today. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.